Hi everyone. I thought I'll just do a quick video for those of you who are new to Macquarie University and new to Sydney, especially if you're an international student. I think this video would be helpful for you. So I'd like to break this video into two main parts. The first part is people who are new to Sydney and the first things you have to do immediately as soon as you arrive here. And secondly, just a few general basic knowledge about Macquarie University because I'm doing my MBA program, so I'll be speaking more specific to that. So the first thing you need to do as soon as you get here is identify where Macquarie Center is. That is how far away it is from you. If you're near the university, it's going to be about 20 minutes away by walk and maybe about 5 to 10 minutes away by bus. The reason why it's so important is because this is going to be the place where you're going to be getting a lot of your other stuff done. So make sure that you understand where Macquarie Center is. And sorry for the background noise. Okay, now that you know where Macquarie Center is, the first thing you want to do there is setting up a mobile network connection. The main three network providers you have here are Telstra, Optus, and Vodafone. After talking to a few people and having some personal experience with a few of these providers, what I've understood is that Telstra has one of the best network connectivity, and Optus is a little bit more patchy in terms of its network. Although it is on the cheaper side from what I understand. I think some of the packages you have are much cheaper. And Vodafone, I think, is a little bit more all-round. I have Vodafone. So far, I haven't had a lot of issues with it. Just a bit of dropouts here and there. Secondly, it's going to be very important for you to set up your bank account as soon as you reach here. Because from what I understand, when you do make your rental payments over here and you're still using an international card or a Forex card, I understand that the penalty charges which you have are actually quite higher. So when you are making payments here on a fortnightly basis or a weekly basis, make sure that you are using a local bank account over here itself. So going back to Macquarie Center, I use Combank. Just maybe go to Combank, set up an account there first things first. And I think from what I understand, it takes about 10 to 15 days for you to get the card, although the account setup is much quicker. I think maybe within 5 or 6 days you get set up. I could be wrong on the timelines of that, but the main point here is to set up your bank account immediately. Once you set up a mobile network and a bank account, the next thing you want to do is get an Opal card. An Opal card essentially is a travel card which you can use here when you're taking the bus, taking the metro, taking ferry rides. This is sort of what an Opal card looks like. Sorry, there's too much glare, but yeah, I think you get the idea. There are different types of Opal cards which you can get, but don't be fooled if you see one which is subsidized version of the card for students. That's not for international students, that's only for your domestic students. So unfortunately, we still have to pay the full price when you get an Opal card. To get an Opal card, you can directly go online and apply for it, and you should get it in maybe, I think, 8 to 10 days if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little lesser. But if you want to get it much more quicker, you can go to any sort of convenience store or a 7-Eleven store and just directly purchase the card from there. There is a mobile application which you have to download as well, and you can keep, topping up the card and using it, and you basically just tap this at the terminal anytime you're trying to travel through. Also, make sure that you do apply for a TFN number as soon as you get here. A TFN number is a tax file number, and that's what you use when you do gain, let's say, some sort of part-time jobs over here. To get a TFN number, the process is quite straightforward, and you do get it, I think, within 20 days. It actually varies. I've heard some people say that they get it within 10 days, within 5 days. For me, it's taken like about 25 days, if I remember, and even then I had to call them and inquire as to why it's taking so long. But yeah, they gave me the number right over a call. Usually you get it in the mail from what I understand, but I didn't get mine in the mail. So you want to apply for a TFN number as soon as you get here. I know I'm saying as soon as, but whenever you get time, do it. I'm sorry, I had to change the angle because my phone was overheating in the sun. But yeah, I'll try and leave some links below in case you want to know how to apply for a TFN number. And I think the second thing is getting an ABN number in case you want to do Uber Eats or some delivery services, part-time basis. I'll again try and leave a link below for you to find out how you can apply for an ABN number as well. Also, ABN number stands for Australian Business Number. The last tip I have to offer is where you can go and do your shopping. I would say go to Aldi's. Aldi's is the place which is quite budget friendly, and you have a pretty decent selection of groceries. So I usually go there for my shopping because of the fact that it's budget friendly. Although whatever you're not able to find in Aldi's, I would then go to Coles or Woolworths. These are all there in the Macquarie Centre itself. You can just roam around there, you'll find these stores. And yeah, whatever you can't find in all these, I would then go to these other two stores and then find out. One quick thing as well before I close the section off. If you go to Macquarie Centre and you're getting lost in there, it's well and good. I was lost in there for like an hour when I went there the first time because it is quite confusing. Just ask people around and they'll guide you out. But it's good to get a good understanding of the layout of the place. Okay, now I'm speaking more specific to the MBA program you have in Macquarie University. This is my second month here in Sydney and in the university. So I just wanted to give a few quick points regarding certain things about the MBA program, which I didn't really get any information to before I applied. And I think it's helpful information as to how, the classes are broken up, how it's divided, and number of people per class, and so on. So as you would have probably already seen from the Macquarie University website, you need to get 160 credits to complete the course, which translates to 16 different subjects because each subject has 10 credits, which you get. And the entire duration of the program is 2 years, and you have 4 terms per year. So that's 8 terms in total. So each term you'll have 2 subjects which you'll have to do. So that translates to a total of 16 subjects over the course of 2 years. The way you'll be doing your subjects can be of different ways of doing it. One is your regular in-person, which means you will have 1 class per subject per week, which usually goes on for about 4 hours. So that means if you have your class on a Monday, usually it's in the evening time because they want to accommodate other people who are working full-time. So they'll probably keep it, let's say, in the evening, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. on a Monday. So the next time you have that class will be the next week, let's say 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. The second way is through Zoom. So it's the exact same thing, but rather than, it being in person, you going to the university and so on, it's going to be over Zoom. So that's a bit more convenient, although, the level of interaction is not as much when it is, in person. And the third thing is called intensive, which is honestly quite intensive. What they do there is your entire subject, which you're expected to do over a course of about 10 or 11 weeks, because you have 1 class per week. About by 10 weeks, you're done with the subject. They cram all of that down into 5 days. And that means you have 5 days of classes. Usually it's 3 days back to back, and they keep that on like a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then they can give like a week break, and next week again you have on a Saturday and Sunday back to back classes. And each day you have your classes running from about 9 a.m. to like 5 p.m. So they kind of cramp all of that, in these specific days. And in that time period, they pretty much get through the entire subject. Keep in mind that if you're doing your subjects either through intensive or non-intensive, the number of hours you're spending in the classroom is still the same. Because if it's in the non-intensive way, you're doing 1 4-hour class every week for 10 weeks. So that's about 40 hours. So each subject requires 40 hours of in-class study. Whereas if you're doing it the intensive way, you're doing 5 8-hour days, which translates to 40 weeks again. So across 5 days, you have 8 hours classes each day, which again translates to 40 hours. So in both ways, you are getting 40 hours of in-class training per subject. But yeah, the intensive one can get a little bit tiring because, you're kind of cramming everything into a very small amount of time. Also, it's not that you can choose whatever type of class you want to take. Sometimes it's quite limited as to what options they have available. For example, some classes can be only online. There is no option for you to choose the regular in-person, or sometimes even if there is an option, it wouldn't be for, let's say, the term that you are currently studying in, but it'll be for maybe term 4 or term 5, term 4 or term 1. Um, so you'll have to you can only choose basis availability. So it's just, don't have the misconception that you can choose whatever type you want and uh, accordingly decide. Everything is going to be limited when you go and apply for the subject online. I would say that if you have the option to do it in person, just do it in person. I think the whole point of coming to a whole different country and pursuing your education here is to kind of get comfortable interacting with others. So if an opportunity presents itself where you can meet other people and study together, I'd really recommend that you all do it that way rather than the online Zoom way, because honestly, it does not seem very productive to me. Just a few things about, the class profile. Again, I've only had like a handful of classes that I've had here, and this is only basis of that. I'm not fully sure about the actual split. I've looked online, haven't been able to find a lot of information about MBA specifically. But this could be quite anecdotal. But from what I've seen, the class sizes usually range from about maybe 20 to 30 students, sometimes 35, 40 is also possible. And it can get a little bit smaller as well. But I would say on average about 20 to 30 per class. You have like a mix of Australians, Asians, some Africans, some Americans. It is fairly mixed, although I would say it's much more weighted towards Australians and Asians. In terms of the age, I would say, I'm again just going off of what I think how old they might be. So I could be completely wrong there, but I think it's around the age of 30s, 35. There are 40, I think there are 45, but I would say mainly concentrated in the bracket of 30 to 40. I think that's safe for me to assume. Yeah, so this is just a brief video about both Sydney and Macquarie University MBA program specifically. I just thought it'll be helpful for others to get some of this information because I didn't have it when I came here. But yeah, let me know if you do want me to go into detail into any of these things. I'll be super interactive in the comment section as well, as much as I can be. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.